Hello, I'd like to introduce next Fred Hodgins. He's a Diamond Direct from here in Sarnia area, Sarnia, Ontario. Actually lives in Brigden, but he's got some great insight to give us and a presentation that's going to give us a little bit more information on how this all works. Fred?
All right, thanks, Dan. All right, well, what I'd like to talk about is the difference between what I call LBC income, which is leverage-based compensation, and ABC income, attendance-based compensation. And I'm going to talk about a time frame of 5 years. Now, this could be 5 months, because we're going to talk about, sharing coffee. We're all familiar with the Gano Excel business and the simplicity of sharing coffee. So I'm not going to cover that. I'm going to talk about the difference between participating in free enterprise and having your own enterprise, and the difference between leveraged income and attendance-based income. So here we're going to talk about these 5 time frames. So we're going to say years to start with. In ABC compensation and LBC. So ABC income, another word for that, and then again that's attendance-based compensation. So another word for that would be a job. Isn't that what happens with our jobs? We trade time for dollars. So attendance-based compensation, you have to be there to get paid. And then with LBC, leverage-based compensation, has anybody heard of something called the internet? Do you think people are creating income over the internet and they're not where the income is being created? Here we have a business utilizing a real product, coffee, the second largest traded commodity in the world, second most consumed beverage in the world, most comfort food, with the benefits we got. So we can utilize the internet. We can also utilize referral marketing, and we're going to talk about the difference of these two models. So in your job, how many people are responsible for your income? I actually just went and gave it away.
Just one.
Just one. Just yourself, right? If you don't show up, what happens?
You don't get paid. You
don't get paid. And if with some businesses, some companies, if there's a union contract, or there's, you may be able to have some time off or some leave, but eventually, if you don't show up, you don't get paid. So you're 100% responsible for your income, right? Over here with leverage-based compensation, what we're going to do is we're going to teach 5 people over the course of a period of time within that year to redirect their coffee buying habits, have an enterprise from home. So, here with this, we're already consuming the product. It's, how do you say, redirected spending. So it's redirected spending. So actually people are saving money. They're already spending more than this than they do right now by going to coffee shops, going to Tim Hortons. So we're going to save money, redirect our buying habits, and we're going to teach 5 people to do this. So the second year, how many people are responsible for your income? Well, of course, it's 1. We're going to teach these 5 people here to do the same thing and find 5 people to redirect their purchasing power, having coffee in an enterprise from home and all the benefits that go from that. And we're going to use a system that the company's put together and that we've put together with our team, that we're going to leverage this system. So it's not you doing all the work, it's you redirecting to the system of videos and information over the internet. So the third year, again, this could be a month, the third year, how many people are responsible for your income? Well, it's 1. Here we're going to use this system, and these people are going to introduce 5 people, and we'll have 125 people. So again, 1, and I'll go down to the 5th month, or 5th year. So this here is 625, utilizing a system, and 3,025. So what happens here, we add this up, it's approximately 4,000 people. It's just underneath, it's just below 4,000 people. People buying this product, buying coffee from their home, saving money. So here we've said we're 100% responsible for our income. Have you ever known anybody in this model here that lost their job through no fault of their own. Of course. Some of it's happened to us. Some of it's happened to us ourselves, but we all at least know somebody. What happens then? Well, then we go back out and try and find another job, right? So we hand out resumes, we get more training from school, we network, and sometimes we totally change careers too. You know, and maybe it's as you get a little bit older, you got to find something different. You can't work with manual labor or whatever. So what happens? This creates a circle. You know, sometimes when this happens, it's at the worst time when people are close to retirement and they lose retirement benefits, and they get it back out. I was just talking to a fellow up in Walkerton that was a consultant and a project manager for 30 years, and he's no longer has that, and he's on unemployment, and he's scared, and he's facing bankruptcy. And so now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a job. I'm just saying a job cannot create wealth. It cannot create time freedom. You know, so it cannot do that in this model. So over here, what does this 4,000 people represent? And again, how many did you enroll? Is 5. And what we teach this pattern is to teach 5, and it's over a course of time. I started with 5 years, but as Valerie pointed out to me last week, there could be people that do this in 5 months, and there actually is people that have done this in 5 months. So what does this 4,000 represent in terms of money, in terms of income? Well, here you are in your home, and it's you Inc. You're in your home. You've got a system and a supplier that you're tied to, a line of sponsorship. And so on our system, we've got, it's a dual team or a binary, and so we have a left side and a right side. So let's just say it fell out that there's 2,000 people, households on each side. We're going to only consume 50 points of volume. Now most people do more than that. That's the minimum in order to get paid. We find that most people do closer to 100. So we'll keep it down to the minimums. So that's 50 times 2,000 is $100,000 in volume. That's commissionable volume that we're paid on. So what does this work out to in dollars? Well, in our comp plan, at this point, it'd be 15% of the dual team. There's some other bonuses and things that kick in. So I'm going to just use 20%. So it's a little bit more than that. So 20% of 100,000 is $20,000. So I'm going to invite you use an extra $20,000.
Yep.
Per month. So what's fun with this is because this is a monthly program, people are consuming coffee, tea, hot chocolate, even our capsules, and every single month, and they won't give it up because the price points are right and they love it, and they're getting the benefits from it. So this is $20,000 per month. Well, that works out to $240,000 a year, or $250,000 a year. Now, of course, most people don't earn this kind of income. So they might think, well, I can't do that. Well, can you do half of that? And I'll just drive over here. Can you do half of that? Well, half of that would be $10,000 a month, or $120,000 a year. Well, what about, and so that'd be half of that, duplicate half of that. What about duplicate half of that? Well, that'd be a quarter. So it'd be $5,000 a month, or still $60,000 a year. Or even half of that, which would be an eighth. So that'd be $2,500 or $30,000 a year. Now, I've lowered it down to the ridiculous. If you just stick with this, if you'll just stick with this and duplicate this and work at it, and this is the results. This is what can happen if, by sticking with this program. And I explained this to someone a little while ago, and I said, if this were the results and it was burying sawdust in your backyard, could you find 5 people that would bury sawdust in their backyard? If they knew this was the results? Well, of course we could, right? But it's not. This is just redirecting our coffee buying habits and creating a business out of that. So I hope that helps to understand the difference between leverage-based compensation and attendance-based compensation. And whether you do this with Gano Excel or you find something else to do. I encourage you to do something, because we need to have an enterprise from home. We need to make a difference. We need to get out in free enterprise. So with that, just find something that you're passionate about and do it. So, well, thank you very much.